I think that we have a Ladybug document camera that people could borrow, and I think that we could also gather up some bamboo tablets that people could borrow just to try them out. So before you go to the trouble and expense of buying these things yourself and wondering whether they're really going to work for you, I think it would do better if you tried out some of the pieces of hardware that we have already before you do a solid commitment. Is that something that we can do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think we bought a fair number of those bamboo tablets in particular for this summer.
And we have
And they're all
4
coming back.
available at this point.
Okay. So yeah, definitely, try it out, see what kinds of things you like. I kind of like the document camera more than the PowerPoint and bamboo tablet, but that's me. I mean, other people would say, no, that's too sloppy. It doesn't look as professional as having a nice PowerPoint slide, and I can imagine in something like your Health IT or Bill Young's cybersecurity, it looks more snazzy to have a PowerPoint slide advancing and then write on that. So, it's completely up to your discretion what you would like to do.
Bamboo tablet takes a little getting used to. You have to practice with it for a while.
Yeah.
One thing that it can do is you can have different, it'll draw dotted lines for you, it'll draw thick lines, thin lines, and then you can select the whole line and say, I didn't mean to do that. Or you can circle something and then you can erase what you just circled. So it has abilities that you don't have with writing with pen on the pen.
It seemed to have some of the same difficulties as the DocCam, though. There's this latency.
Actually, that was surprising. Mine's not slow at all. It should go just as fast. Bamboos are used for graphic illustration. They're pretty fast.
Sasha, when you were writing there, it just seemed like there was latency. It was
Oh.
behind you, and
You mean right here in
Yeah.
front of you?
Mhm.
No, it's
That's
pretty
all.
good. If it was really
Okay,
bad,
so it's different from the DocCam, is that right?
yeah, this is pretty. I think this is pretty speedy.
Okay.
I don't think I didn't really do anything really fast across the screen. I was just writing, so that's
Okay.
pretty slow. But I found it to be completely acceptable to sit there and talk and record in one take. I haven't really found it too challenging. But I will emphasize, the stuff that's upstairs in this AV room in this building is, similar to this in the sense that I think it's similarly easy to use, but better in the sense that if you use that smartboard, you get to write on a surface area that's huge and probably more familiar to us than writing on these little bamboo tablets. And you get probably a little better professional grade of video if you were able to plan that far ahead. So I encourage you to use that resource as well. This is very much I have put this off too late, it's midnight, I must get this done kind of thing.
The smartboard also gives you the option of having something that looks like a lecture, as well as the screen capture, even
Yeah.
on the screen at the same time.
A lot of students really like to see their instructor's face, or an instructor's face. Yes, Alan?
Speaking of which, I'm thinking about an enormously low-tech sort of thing. I like to see student faces. I saw Bill chatting there, and I chatted with him about how it went. I said, what was it like, just talking to this camera person over here? And he said, that's difficult.
Yeah.
And I've heard other people say, they're just real tense when they're doing stuff like this. I've seen lectures, I think they came from Caltech on TV, and it will be a film of somebody in the classroom. At least it begins and ends that way.
Yeah.
But then they have all this razzle-dazzle, nifty stuff in between the videos and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But for me to speak to a group, it's so much easier than for me to speak to the guy behind the camera.
I totally understand.
Do we have the
This-
capabilities for somebody bringing a camera into the classroom?
This precedes my time here a little bit, Alan, but there
Okay.
was an experiment where the college tried to purchase some of these classroom videotaping machines, and we've never had the staff to personally deploy out into all the classrooms and man those machines, so they were intended to be standalone. You would aim them at the front of the room and record away and see what you got at the end, and never did it work. I mean, there would be errors of the audio would drop out, or the instructor would move off the field of view. It'd still be at the front of the classroom, but it turns out the left half of the classroom wasn't quite in the field of view of the camera. The lighting wasn't good enough. You can't read the chalkboard all that well. It's just so many levels of production required to get that to work.
I guess I'd like to begin with my voice. And then add all this other stuff into it.
Right.
So it wouldn't be so critical that the board isn't showing and things like that. Because I'd slip in the PowerPoint stuff and things like that.
So-
It's just not that I was staring at a camera.
This might be a case where you would work with these guys to do that kind of editing montage. You could do a tape where you need to do that beginning and end that you talk about, but do several beginnings and ends and all in one shot. And then do the post-editing, put the other stuff together. I don't know, but I feel that I would be, well, it'd probably be too much to promise that we could go out and tape classrooms. I don't think we can do that. And my experience that I've heard about from David when he was in charge of this was that it often failed, and that we wasted lots and lots of money putting all that technology in classrooms only to see bad recordings.
Okay. For the record, this meeting right now is being recorded. Is that correct?
It is true.
Okay.
It is true. And I hope I've not said anything so I had intended for this video to be put up on the web so that those faculty who could not come could participate.
So it's low tech, but we've got some capabilities for doing it.
Yes, that's right. And Nathan showed a video of himself in one of the physics labs, actually videotaping something there because they had some equipment and they wanted to be able to take that. So we could do it. It's just not as scalable as I would like.
If I recall right, when Nathan was up there on the screen, it looked like he was about to receive an electrical shock, okay?
That was also my first time ever recording.
You got better?
Yeah, I was getting better.
All right.
No, that is something, and I've seen a couple of Bill Young's videos and stuff. His first couple ones are, it's a little bit tense, but after, what, about 2 or 3, he gets,
Bill really settled down pretty quickly,
Yeah.
I thought. I mean, I haven't heard otherwise, but I mean, now he comes in and he drills out 3 in about 45 minutes. It's incredible.
So who needs these students? So-
and I
It's
mean,
the
there's
same-
also there is, Farley and Ryan in the room with you, so you can actually talk to them.
And they're so good at nodding appreciatively when you say something else.
I'm sure.
So, not to leave this subject, one question for each of you.
Yes.
To your knowledge, no one has successfully taped a set of lectures from the classroom. And for Alan, I mean, most of the class subjects have been introductory classes. Would you consider doing something like this in, I forget the number, the numerical analysis
The
class?
graduate class?
Graduate class.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we're getting close to the end of our hour here. I just urge that if you have any interest, that you contact Ryan or Farley or Jesse or Nathan or someone on the Quest team if you'd like to get some work done on your own. They are eager to help and can even give you some instruction on some of the personal stuff you can put on your kitchen table if you want to do that too, or even better, do the stuff in the media lab upstairs. Next week, we're meeting again, but I think it's Wednesday next week, is that right, Heather? Yeah, Wednesday at this time. We'll be talking about trying to move beyond the old-fashioned multiple choice questions that are in Quest and doing real algebraic responses and graphing and simulations in Mathematica, which is now another app inside of Quest. And for many of us who deal a little bit more in calculational type courses, this will be hopefully an important change in the kinds of questions we can ask online. So thank you all for coming, and we'll see you